Even if my wife only had 10 yuan, she'd spend it all on me. But the very day she found out she was pregnant, I chose to divorce her and vanish, leaving her saddled with a massive debt. To hide from the debt collectors, she had to run and hide every single day while carrying our child. When she was exhausted, she slept under bridges. When she was starving, she dug through trash cans. Everyone cursed me, calling me a heartless scumbag. But little did they know I was actually diagnosed with it. Terminal illness. 5 years ago, I hid the truth from my wife and went abroad alone for treatment. But my condition suddenly worsened, causing me to collapse on the spot. By the time I woke up, 2 years had passed. Although my illness was brought under control, the next time it relapses will be the end of my life. Later, I unexpectedly managed to get news about my wife. I found out that after I left back then, she and our child had suffered immensely, and she hated me to the very core. I thought about it for a long time and decided not to shatter their current peaceful life. After all, I'm someone who could drop dead at any moment. Over the next 3 years, I endured agonizing treatments every single day. Using whatever time I had left, I built a massive business empire. With my secret backing, my wife, Lu Ruyen, has now become a top-tier superstar. In her 4 years since debuting, she has released 99 songs. Every single one of them was a massive hit, and today, every major media outlet in Daxia and even the mayor of Madu are sitting in the audience. Everyone is here for one thing. Lu Ruyen's 100th song is being released today. The proud daughter of heaven, Lu Ruyen, debuted 4 years ago. Before her debut, her background was as blank as a sheet of paper. Even to this day, fans in the media know nothing about her other than her name, Lu Ruyen. They are completely in the dark. Regarding her background, the internet has never stopped speculating. Every rumor generates insane amounts of hype. It even topped the list of Daxia's top 10 unsolved mysteries, and today she is going to reveal her past at this press conference. In a small room far away, a man in his 30s with a deathly pale face is watching the live broadcast on a screen. This man is the one who loves Lu Ruyen the most. Me, and also the scumbag who hurt her the deepest. Today is the release of Ruyen's 100th song. It's the last time I'll ever get to see her. My time is running out. I came here just to see Ruyen one last time. I don't want to close my eyes with any regrets. In my hands, I hold a diary. Written across the cover in large letters are 4 words: the scumbag's diary. This scumbag's diary records everything from the moment Ruyen and I met, all the terrible things I did, and the countless promises I made. Before I close my eyes for good, I want to relive every single memory I have with Ruyen one last time. Now, because my condition has worsened, I only have 3 months left to live. Seeing my agonizing state, my best gently pats my back. Who would have thought that a legendary godfather of the music industry could be such a hopeless romantic? I look up but say nothing. Godfather of music. If it weren't for Ruyen, that godfather wouldn't even exist in this world. I don't reply to Shido, I just slowly close my eyes. I'm just so tired. This is how I am now. I stay awake for a little while, then I have to sleep for a very long time. Now that I've seen her, I think I can finally have a good long sleep. Shido watches as I drift off to sleep. He reaches out and takes the diary from my hands. Then he signals to someone nearby to wheel me back to my room. As for him, he walks alone toward the center of the press conference. I am his best brother. In the final moments of my life, I told him to find an excuse to leave my entire inheritance to Ruyen. But I also made him promise never to tell Ruyen the truth. Shido has listened to me his entire life, but this time he refuses to listen. At the press conference, a reporter stands up. Excuse me, Ruyen, you chose to reveal this during the release of your 100th song. Is it because this song is written about that very story? What is the theme of this new song? Could you give us a little sneak peek? Lu Ruyen smiles, suppressing her emotions. She speaks slowly. Of course, the theme of this song is regret and missed chances. Haha, a sudden burst of laughter rings out. What a great line. Regret and missed chances. Miss Ruyen, may I ask, when you gave up on that scumbag you speak of, did you feel any regret, or rather, have you truly forgotten him? Everyone turns toward the voice. The newcomer is a man in his 30s. His face is weathered, giving off the aura of someone who has been through a lot. Ruyen furrows her brows. Of course, I've forgotten him. Whenever I occasionally think of him, I only feel embarrassed for myself. Good, the man says boldly. Then I wonder, Miss Ruyen, do you still remember this diary? That's right, that man is Shio. He holds the diary high in his hand. The 4 Words, the scumbag's diary, are instantly illuminated by countless camera flashes. Liu Ryuan looks up, seeing that slightly yellowed diary. She is shaken to her core. She bites her lip hard, a trace of sorrow flashing in her eyes. She is all too familiar with this diary. Those 4 words, the scumbag's diary, were written by her own hand, stroke by stroke, all those years ago. "Where did you get this diary?" Ruyan asks, a hint of urgency in her voice. When it comes to you, she truly has too many unanswered questions. She too ignores her question. Instead, he flips to the first page and reads slowly. "You said you love the beauty of fireworks, but it broke your heart to see them fade. So I am willing to let a rain of flowers fill the sky all night long so you will never have to see them fade. You said you loved the brilliance of the starry sky, but you didn't know those stars shine just for you. I say in this entire galaxy there is only light because of you." Shidu reads softly, 2 incredibly beautiful sentences and incredibly dreamy. Lu Ruyan stands frozen in place. "Did he send you here?" Shido chuckles. "Is that what you're hoping for?" Lu Ruyan stays silent. Shu doesn't mind and continues. He says, "If you want to know, then head up to the rooftop. I'll be waiting for you there." After Shito finishes speaking, he turns and walks out without looking back. He seems absolutely certain that Rune will follow him. Meanwhile, Lu Rune remains rooted to the spot. Her heart is filled with fear and tension. Is Ichu really? Upstairs, she wants to go up there, but she's terrified to face him. She has imagined their reunion countless times, but she never expected it to be today. "Rune, don't go. Have you forgot how much he hurt you?" Rune's best friend, who is also her current manager Lin Yu, grabs Ruin and says anxiously, "If there is one person in this world who understands how Ruin has lived these past 5 years, it's definitely Linu." Liu Ruin less than unk greater than S heart trembles hearing Linu's words. All the bitterness of the past 5 years instantly floods her heart. "We've been broken up for 5 years, you never showed up once. What's the point of coming back now?" Lu Ruyan nods, signaling for Linu not to worry. "Linua, I have to go. I want to see with my own eyes how pathetic that scumbag has become, and then I'll crush him completely. I won't have a single ounce of pity for him anymore. I feel nothing but hatred for him." With that, Lu Ryuan walks out. Lin Yu and the others immediately follow behind her. Everyone at the press conference trails after them as well. They are the elite media of Daxia. Naturally, they wouldn't miss an opportunity like this. Lu Ruyan leads the way, stepping onto the rooftop first. The moment she arrives, she sees the scene before her. Her eyes are filled with complex emotions as if she's completely stunned. Every scene laid out before her, every light shining there, it's nothing else. But they are all scenes from the movies that I used to watch with her back then. We were so poor back then, just a laptop and a sofa. The 2 of us would lean on each other all night. Ruin used to cry so easily. Every time she saw a touching scene, she couldn't hold back her tears, and she especially loved to make herself sad. After crying, she'd rewind to that exact moment just to cry all over again. Back then, I always loved calling her my little fool, and I never got tired of watching those scenes with her over and over again. But now, she can't bring herself to cry anymore. Just this. "You think this is enough to move me? You're underestimating me way too much." Ruin screams at Shido's back. By now, she is basically certain that Yu is behind all of this because he's the only one who knows about this. But isn't it ridiculous? What were you doing 5 years ago when I was going crazy looking for you? Where were you? Shiu doesn't answer. He crouches down and uses a lighter to ignite the fireworks on the ground. A loud boom echoes out. The firework shoots up like an arrow. Blooming in the sky, in an instant, a rain of flowers fills the sky. The fireworks explode in the silent night sky, blooming with dazzling beauty. The ignited firework acts like a signal. Just as it blooms and is about to fade, everyone hears it from every direction. Countless pops and whistles echo out. Immediately after, countless fireworks shoot into the sky. They come from all directions, instantly filling the entire night sky. Everyone looks up. No matter where you look, it's a sky full of raining fireworks. The entirety of Madu is now engulfed in a massive sea of fireworks. This is absolutely the grandest fireworks display in history. Countless couples lean against each other, gazing sweetly at the sky, as if this represents their own love, dazzling and beautiful amidst the raining fireworks. Gradually, 5 massive words appear in the sky, drawing blessings from everyone. The past fades like smoke. Rune, I love you. 5 very ordinary words, but also the most direct confession. The moment those 5 words Appear, everyone knows exactly who this fireworks display is blooming for. Lu Ruyan less than unk greater than S heart suddenly wavers. If he hadn't truly loved her, how could he remember it so clearly? That day was the Lantern Festival. She had said if only this beauty would never fade. It turns out he still remembered her offhand comment from all those years ago. For her, he lit up the entire city. The fireworks continue. Suddenly, a change appears in the sky. It's the stars. Someone stares blankly at the sky, rubbing their eyes in disbelief. Am I hallucinating? Wasn't it cloudy today? Why are there suddenly so many stars? No, those aren't stars. They are thousands upon thousands of sky lanterns rising into the sky all at once, creating the illusion of a sparkling starry night. No one can believe their eyes. Just how many sky lanterns does this take? How many people had to release them together to create a spectacle like this? The city is brilliantly illuminated by the fireworks and sky lanterns. Tears suddenly well up in Xiu's eyes. Others can only see the unparalleled beauty, but he sees the bitter heartbreak behind it all. For all of this, Yu dragged his terminally ill body around, working tirelessly for a whole month. Countless times, he was in so much pain he couldn't even stand. Yet he insisted on doing it all himself. But he can no longer see that his words have changed. Someone shouts, "Look at Ryuan." Looking up, the 5 words in the sky, "Rune, I love you," have clearly morphed into a question. "Rune, do you have any regrets?" Before Rune can even react, a melodious tune suddenly plays on the rooftop. Ruyan turns her head only to see Xiu walking toward her with a microphone. Are you familiar with this melody? Ruyan takes the microphone, tears falling from her eyes once again. How could she not be familiar with it? This song is the exact 100th song she was supposed to release today. What a pity that person isn't you. Ryuan doesn't put on any airs. She directly begins to sing the song, her voice gentle as water rings out. Sorrow floods out like a bursting dam. Combined with her melancholic tone, it makes the entire rooftop feel suffocatingly heavy. Everyone present falls silent. They even forget to record, forgetting that today their main purpose was this very new song. Ruyan's sorrowful voice fills every corner. What a pity it wasn't you who walked with me to the end. We once walked together only to lose each other at that crossroad. Thank you, for it was once you who once held my hand, so I can still feel that lingering tenderness. Everyone finally understands why this song is about regret and missed chances. Love songs can always easily touch the softest, most vulnerable part of a person's heart. What a pity that person isn't you, but still, thank you for once being there. That is the ultimate closure for so many romances. Many people start clapping and cheering because after today, another masterpiece has been born. Amidst the applause, Ruin begins to sob silently. She cries as she finishes the song, then she turns around frantically searching for that once familiar figure. She has to ask him clearly. Who exactly made her lose so miserably? Stop looking. He's not here, she too says calmly. He obviously sees Lu Ruin less than unk greater than's panic and knows exactly what she's looking for. It's just that she'll never find him again. Are you moved? Do you still love him? Shido asks in a very flat tone. Lu Ruin says nothing. Her entire body is trembling. How could she not be moved after all? They had loved each other so deeply back then. After all, these were all her youthful dreams. How could she not be swayed? Liu standing beside her grows anxious. Ryuan, don't believe them. Have you forgotten all the suffering you went through? Yichu is just a deadbeat. Now that he sees you're famous, he's using these fake tricks to move you. The moment you actually forgive him, he'll latch on to you like a leech and completely destroy you. As soon as Liu says this, the surrounding crowd strongly agrees. These chaotic murmurs naturally reach Shido's ears. His face turns livid. Toward this ignorant, self-righteous crowd, he feels nothing but absolute disgust. But among the 100 or so people here, there are bound to be 1 or 2 who actually know their stuff. An older reporter speaks up. Whether he's a scumbag or not, I don't know what his motives are. I won't presume to guess, but this man is definitely not poor, and he certainly didn't come for money. Have any of you calculated how much tonight's fireworks cost? Elder Chin asks. If I'm not mistaken, the fireworks set off today are all premium grade produced by a top company in Madu. The unit price alone exceeds 4 digits. Add to that the sheer scale of tonight's display. At a conservative estimate, the cost wouldn't be less than 500 million yuan, and that's not even counting the labor costs for the sky lanterns. Adding all the miscellaneous expenses together, the total cost is probably close to 1 billion yuan? 1 billion yuan. Does Miss Ruin's current net worth even amount to that much? Would someone who can casually drop 1 billion yuan really need to leech off a woman? After Elder Chen finishes his calculation, the entire scene instantly falls dead silent. They had thought that this fireworks display must have cost a pretty penny, but when Elder Chen actually said the number out loud, they were still completely shell-shocked. Someone who possesses 1 billion yuan, no matter where they go, they are a top-tier tycoon. Could someone like that really be a deadbeat? Shidu continues to stare intently at Luan. He wants to know Lu Ruin's answer. Ruyan twitches the corner of her mouth. No matter how beautiful the fireworks are, they will eventually fade. No matter how beautiful the past was, it's still just the past. Is that so, Miss Rune? Do you not believe that you still loves you or that he ever loved you? Love? Does that scumbag even deserve to? Let me tell you something. You better tell that scumbag to come out here right now. I promise I won't beat him to death. Liu grew anxious the moment she heard this. She knew better than anyone how Ryuan had lived these past few years. There were times when even she felt heartbroken just watching, terrified even. But Ruyan still gritted her teeth and pushed through all by herself. And now this guy named Shu actually has the nerve to stand here and talk about whether he loves her or not. Does he even deserve to? Shidu ignored Lin Yu. He kept his eyes fixed on Ruin. He wanted to know. Ruin less than Unk greater than S answer. He understood Linhua. Linhua had been by Ruin less than Unk greater than S side for 5 years. She had seen too many of Ruin less than Unk greater than S hardships. Of course she would be resentful toward you, but she too had also been by Yichu less than Unk greater than S side for 5 years. He knew exactly how much Iku loved the woman standing before him. So he wanted to know if aside from hatred, Ruin still had any lingering feelings for him. Even if it was just a little bit, it would make him feel that everything Yu had done was worth it. Ryuan felt a flicker of panic in her heart. Shiku's question seemed far too sensitive. It made her heart ache slightly, but on her face she remained completely expressionless. Years of tempering in the entertainment industry had long taught her how to hide her joy and sorrow. To me, this time Yiku is just passer by A and I am passer by B. We mind our own business and stay out of each other's way. The best thing for us is to never contact each other again. She too let out a chuckle. He suddenly felt that it was so unfair to his brother, Miss Ruin. Actually, there are some things. What you see with your own eyes isn't necessarily the truth. There are some things that if you don't cherish them now, you'll definitely regret it when they're gone. Regret over him? Impossible. Not in a million years, Ruin said through gritted teeth. 4 years ago at CS City Children's Hospital. Ruin, Liu suddenly cried out. She was trying to stop Ruin. Ruin turned her head, her hands clenched into fists. Luin nodded at her. It's fine, Lin Yu, we weren't planning on hiding it anymore anyway. Today I'm going to let everyone know just how despicable this scumbag was back then. Now everyone perked up their ears to listen. The venue was dead silent. Ruin cleared her throat. With a serious expression, she picked up the microphone and spoke, enunciating every single word. After we broke up, I went crazy looking for Yiku twice. The first time was 2 months after our breakup because that was when I found out I was pregnant. The entire crowd went into an uproar. When the truth was finally revealed, they couldn't stay quiet any longer. Facing the commotion in the crowd, Ruin waved her hand. Everyone gradually quieted down. Only then did Ruyan continue. Yes, that's right. I was pregnant when I found out the results. I searched frantically for Yichu because at that time the past hurts didn't seem to matter anymore because I wanted my child to have a father. I wanted my daughter to have a complete family. Even if that father of hers was so incredibly irresponsible. I called Yiku countless times, sent him countless messages, reached out to every single mutual friend we had. But there was still no news of Yichu whatsoever. I was in despair. I comforted myself thinking he must have had some unspeakable difficulties. But just as I was consoling myself with that thought, a good friend of mine told me that she saw Yichu and a very beautiful girl walking out of a hotel. At that moment my heart completely shattered, and I finally understood I was wrong. Turns out I was the one ruining his good time. Scumbag, how could there be such a despicable man in this world? To be this awful, many people couldn't hold back their curses. Lil Ruyan continued speaking. I don't know if he knew or not, and he didn't deserve to know. In the end, I still decided to have the baby. Not for Yichu, but simply because I am a mother. I could feel the flesh and blood connection with the baby in my womb. The child was innocent and I loved her. And because of this child, my parents were completely disappointed in me. They kicked me out of the house if Lin Yu hadn't taken me in. Gyu and I would have probably starved to death on the streets long ago. Everyone had already anticipated this outcome, but it still felt incredibly heartbreaking. Sir Ruyan said to Xiu, her tone softening a bit. But you suddenly tell me that he spent 1 billion yuan just to make me smile. Do you know how I feel right now? I just feel disgusted. I feel like he's absolute trash. If he's so capable, then where was he when I was at my lowest? If he's so capable, then where was he when Guagua needed him the most? What is he tired of playing around now? So he finally remembers the wife who suffered alongside him. Does he even deserve to? Hearing this, Xiu desperately wanted to blurt out the whole truth, but he had promised Yichu to keep his terminal illness a secret. This was his absolute bottom line, so he offered a brief explanation right after he broke up with Yichu really wasn't as successful as he is now, but this explanation sounded so pale and feeble. Was having no money just simply having no money? It's less than more like he never loved her in the first place, Ruin said coldly. He never loved this child at all. No, Yu is also the child's father. He once told me whenever he mentioned Guo, his face was full of happiness too. You can't talk about him like that. She too grew a little anxious and shouted loudly, "Is that so? Then what about the second time?" I looked for him. Lu Ruyan wasn't agitated. She still asked calmly, but her tightly pursed lips still made people feel her fury. I was kicked out of my home with nowhere to turn. With Liu's help, the baby was finally born safely. But the moment she was born, a devastating piece of bad news also arrived. Guo had congenital anemia. Her natural blood volume was insufficient. She needed an immediate blood transfusion. After testing, it turned out Guo had the rare Rh panda blood type. The hospital didn't have this blood type in stock. My family didn't have this rare blood type either. So the only person who could save Guo at that time was that so-called father of hers. Do you know how critical the situation was back then? Ruyan choked up a little. She still couldn't forget that heartbreaking period of time. The doctor said that without a matching blood supply, Guo might not survive past 48 hours. Ruyan burst into tears. Linu gently hugged Ruyan from behind and softly patted her back. It's okay. It's okay. It's all in the past, Ruyan. We've made it through the worst of it, haven't we? Ruyan tried hard to suppress her emotions and nodded at Lin Yu when she raised her head again. The sorrow on her face was gone, replaced by a cold indifference. Back then, I desperately searched for Yichu. I went to every place he could have possibly been. Look for anyone who might know his whereabouts. I even went to beg that girl who was at the hotel with him back then. I didn't have any other thoughts. I just wanted to beg him to save my daughter. I was willing to pay any price. Where was he then, when I knelt in front of his old company, being pointed at and gossiped about by passers-by? Where was he, when my daughter was hovering between life and death? Where was he? Lu Ruin less than greater than S voice grew louder and louder until she was practically screaming. Some of the more emotional people in the crowd were even moved to tears. They couldn't imagine what it looked like for a mother who had just given birth, still in her postpartum recovery, to be kneeling on the streets. Ryan adjusted her emotions, trying to force herself to calm down. If the hospital hadn't suddenly obtained that blood type in the end, Gyu would have probably been gone long ago, and her father never even looked at his own daughter once from beginning to end. Does he deserve to? All these years, I never wanted to bring these things up ever again. Saying it today is just to ask you to pass a message to him. Tell him to stay out of my life forever. I don't need him and I don't want him, and please tell him to stop bothering me. She too let out a bitter laugh. Looking at Ruin pretending to be calm, he could feel the hatred that had seeped into her very bones. Who was right and who was wrong? Who could really say for sure? Even if Yichu had 1,000 reasons, he had truly caused this breathtakingly beautiful girl to suffer indelible trauma. Maybe he did show up. Shido flipped through the diary in his hands. Turning to the night of the 13th of May, 2016, that was the very night Gyu had her surgery. She read aloud softly, "The weather is beautiful today, dragging my exhausted body. I saw my daughter for the very first time. My name is Yichu, an irresponsible boyfriend and an irresponsible father. My daughter, the first time I saw you, my heart completely melted. You were so tiny and so adorable. That feeling of flesh and blood made me want to hold you so badly. But just as I reached out to hold you, the doctor stopped me. He said you were An apple chosen by God, because God loved you so much, he couldn't resist taking an extra bite. So when you were born, you were incredibly fragile, unable to be tainted by any dust of this world. God is truly to blame. My hand froze in midair. Actually, at that moment, I really wanted to tell that doctor, this might be the closest I'll ever get to you in my entire life. This is the only chance I have to help you. This doctor stopped your father from holding you for the one and only time. For a father, how cruel is that? But I didn't feel upset because I knew that very soon we would become one. My blood will soon accompany you for the rest of your life. Does that count as another form of protection? If you're lucky enough to learn about everything that happened today and the future, please remember that Daddy loves you. Reading up to this point, Ruin suddenly screamed, "What? Impossible. The person who gave Gyo the blood transfusion absolutely couldn't be him." Impossible? Ruin didn't believe him and she couldn't believe it. In her heart, Yichu was a cold, heartless bastard. But now suddenly hearing that her daughter's life was saved by him, she just couldn't accept it no matter what. Ruin recalled every scene from back then. The hospital had always been out of blood and she couldn't find Yao. Just when she was in utter despair, the doctor suddenly called, saying there was a kind-hearted person who also had the panda blood type and agreed to save. Guago, Lu Ruyan knew just how rare this blood type was. She had looked it up. For decades in Great Xia, this blood type had never been discovered. But in her extreme joy, Ruyan didn't think too much about it. She felt it was God taking pity on her and her daughter. Later, Ruyan had also tried to find this kind-hearted person. Unfortunately, the hospital said the kind-hearted person had already left and didn't want to leave a name. Thinking back on it now, there really were too many coincidences. But regardless of whether this was the truth or not, it was something Rune couldn't accept, hating him for so many years, only to suddenly tell herself that she was wrong. This was turning her entire life upside down. No one in the crowd said a word. They could also hear what the diary was implying. The person who saved Ruyan's daughter was 9 times out of 10 Iku. Shidu continued reading, "Daddy is just like Mommy. We both love you so much. It's just that Daddy can't be by your side as you grow up. You will slowly grow up, slowly become a big girl. If that day comes and you must remember to tell Daddy in your dreams that you are very healthy. Also, after you grow up, you must listen to Mommy. Mommy is the person who loves you the most in this world. She's also the most beautiful, the gentlest, and the kindest person in the world. All the beautiful words in the world aren't enough to describe Mommy. With a mother like that, Daddy is very relieved. Daddy really wants to look at you one more time, but Daddy's heart also aches for Mommy. Mommy has suffered so much for you. You must get better. Stay by Mommy's side in Daddy's place and take good care of her. Daddy is begging you." Finally, Daddy wrote a song. It's called Listen to Mom. If one day you hear this song, please remember that it's Daddy's love. Daddy loves you. The crowd was in an uproar. What? Listen to Mom? Is that Ruin's old song? Listen to Mom is considered one of the songs that made Ruin famous. You wrote it. Does anyone remember the composer? I remember this song didn't list a composer. It only said it was released by Sunshine Music Company. By now, Lu Ruin less than Unk greater than S face was completely covered in tears. She didn't want to believe any of this was real, but her intuition told her that the person who saved Guo was Yiku. It could only be Yichu. She closed the diary. Then he pulled out a piece of paper and placed it in Lu Ruin's hand. It was a blood donation certificate from 5 years ago. In the blood donor column, it clearly stated the name Yichu. Seeing those 2 bright red words, Ruyan finally broke down, sobbing. Her tears weren't for herself, but even more so for Gua, her daughter, amidst her heartbreak. She also felt a bit of comfort. At least Guo had a father who could be considered somewhat responsible. At least he wasn't rotten to the core. Shu didn't say anything. He signaled to the sound crew on the rooftop with a hand gesture. Very quickly, the intro to Listen to Mom began to play. The entire crowd was instantly captivated. Little kids, you have a lot of questions, don't you? Why are others reading comic books? While you have to learn how to draw, talking to the piano, Ruin's sweet singing voice rang out. The lyrics seemed to use the tone of a child complaining about the grievances of growing up. This was like the problem every child would face while growing up. So Yichu, was this song your imagination of Guo's childhood? If you loved her that much, then why didn't you stay by her side as she grew up? You should have known that back then. If you had just shown up, even if you were drowning in debt, I would have willingly walked on with you. Ryan's tears just wouldn't stop falling. Her heart began to waver a little. The singing continued. Why do you have to listen to Mom? When you grow up, you'll start to understand these words. After growing up, I started to understand why I run faster than others, fly higher Then others, in the future the comics everyone reads will be the ones I drew, the songs everyone sings will be the ones I wrote. Shido burst into tears. This was the first time he had cried today. He remembered it very clearly. When Iku wrote this song back then, he was talking as he wrote. He said, Ryuen had a strong personality. Guagua would definitely be influenced by it in the future. But Guo couldn't hate Rune. Rune is a good mother, the best woman. Besides, Ryuen has suffered enough, so he had to tell Guo, everything mommy does is for Guo less than unk greater than s own good. Guo must not blame mommy. He kept talking and then he started crying. His voice began to choke up. Without me by their side, what are they going to do? Two girls. What is Guo going to do in the future? Rune has a hot temper. If Guago takes after her, what if they both lose their tempers and fight and there's no one to mediate? Is just one song not enough? Also, will Rune find someone else if she really finds someone else? What if Guo's stepdad bullies her? Will Guo be bullied at school for not having a dad? What if Guagua starts dating too early? If she's unlucky and meets a scumbag like her biological father, I wouldn't be able to rest in peace even if I died. Shido remembered that it was the first time he didn't find Yichu too talkative. Every single word was the agony of a father who wanted to love but couldn't. Ryuen was hurt. But wasn't Yichu the one who suffered even more? Ryuen could at least stay by their daughter's side for the rest of her life. After You Less Than Unk Greater Than S song finished playing, many people were still overwhelmed with emotion. Did we misunderstand you? Someone whispered. Ryuen Less Than Unk Greater Than S tears ruined her makeup, making her look incredibly pitiful. The softest part of her heart had been touched, making her heart ache terribly. Where is Yichu? Where is he right now? Lu Ryuen with tear-filled eyes looked at Xiu and asked. Shido opened his mouth. He was about to speak, but before he could say a word, Linhwa, who was standing nearby, cut him off. Ryuen, don't be fooled by their tricks, it's all just sweet talk. If he really loved you, why didn't he say so earlier? Even if he really was the one who gave Guo a blood transfusion, that's what he was supposed to do. He's using something he should have done anyway to guilt trip you. Isn't that ridiculous? Only you would pull a stunt like this. Lin Yu glared coldly at Xiu with a look of utter disdain. Am I wrong, mister? A person who has done 100 bad things and then does just one good thing, does that mean they're no longer a bad person? Besides, Guagua is his daughter too. Wasn't it you less than unk greater than S duty to do all this? Facing Linhwa less than unk greater than's interrogation, Xiu just smiled. He didn't answer. Duty? Yes, it absolutely was. That's Yichu less than unk greater than S daughter. Whatever Yichu did, it was only natural. But was it really just his duty? Not necessarily. No one knows how much Yichu had to sacrifice. For this blood donation, he was already severely ill himself. To ensure there were no bad cells in his blood, Yichu underwent the most grueling treatment before donating. It wasn't just simple chemotherapy. That kind of treatment causes excruciating pain. Have any of you ever experienced what it feels like to have a needle pierced through your bones? If that's hard to imagine, what if it was done without any anesthesia? If you still can't grasp that kind of pain, please picture this. Imagine a long nail being driven forcefully into your thigh, piercing right through your femur and then being pulled out from the other side. That year, Yichu endured that exact kind of bone marrow puncture, and not just once, to prevent anesthesia from affecting the blood treatment. He refused all anesthetics. He gritted his teeth so hard they almost shattered, but he held on without making a single sound because he said his blood wasn't clean. It had to be purified. He couldn't let his daughter's blood be affected in the slightest in the future. I don't know how many times he went through that treatment. When the doctor finally said his blood was even healthier than a normal person's, he just smiled, a smile full of pure joy. At that time, Xiu only took one glance and couldn't bear to look any longer. So no matter how great a father's love is, who could actually endure that kind of agony? After the transfusion, Yichu's bodily functions severely deteriorated. He was never able to stand up again. For 5 years, the last 5 years of his life, he confined to a wheelchair. So for those who don't know the truth, stop making such flippant remarks from the sidelines. Yichu never mentioned any of this in his diary. Perhaps he truly felt it was just what he was supposed to do. In a small room far away, I sat in my wheelchair, slowly waking up. Lately, I've been getting tired so easily. Drifting off to sleep at the drop of a hat, I knew this was a sign that my time was almost up. Opening my eyes, I looked at the screen in front of me. This was Something I had arranged a long time ago. This fireworks display was my final gift to Ryuan. Even though I couldn't appear in front of her, I still wanted to see her happy smile, so I had someone set up a camera in advance so I could watch it with my own eyes. I didn't expect it to be over already. I stared at the screen for a moment. I muttered self-deprecatingly, then opened the playback. I wanted to watch it from the moment the fireworks started. I wanted to see the whole thing. Fireworks were Rune's dream. I wanted to see her smile. The video started from the beginning. At first, I was still smiling, but after watching for just a few minutes, my smile froze. The fireworks were beautiful. The starry sky was dazzling, but panic set in my heart. In the video, Xiu held up the scumbag's diary and started reading. This sight instantly made my pupil shrink. Panic began to consume me. What the hell is Xiu doing? I said in a panic. My hands frantically fumbled around trying to find my phone. I had to stop all of this. I couldn't let Ryuan forgive me. If Ryuan found out the truth and I was already gone, then for the rest of her life, how deeply would that stubborn girl be hurt? At that thought, my hands grew even more frantic. The blanket on my lap was knocked to the floor. My phone fell to the ground. I bent over to pick it up, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't reach it. The attendant beside me hurriedly picked it up for me and placed it in my hand. Opened my contacts, wanting to call Shidu. I couldn't let him reveal everything. Even if I had to bear this false reputation to my grave, even if there were more misunderstandings, so what? But my trembling fingers just couldn't press the call button. As anxiety burned within me, my vision suddenly went black. I fainted again. The phone screen froze on Shida's contact page. In the end, the call never went through. The doctor nearby immediately and anxiously checked my vitals, only breathing a sigh of relief. After a long while, on the rooftop, Xiu, who had been flustered by the questioning, unsure if he should continue speaking, suddenly heard his phone ring. He took a glance at it and immediately walked over to a secluded corner. He answered the call without saying a word. He just listened quietly. 2 minutes later, he softly said one sentence, "I know," and then hung up, but his expression grew even colder. At first, he was hesitating whether to continue telling the truth or not. He still felt a pang of sympathy for the #1 diva of Great Xia standing before him, but now his heart ached even more for his brother. Xiu stared intently at Li Ryuan. "Is that what you think too?" "You think he never loved you at all?" Shidu asked coldly. "But have you forgotten, you were the one who asked for the breakup back then. The one who got dumped was Yichu, the scumbag you keep talking about. Did Yichu ever do anything to wrong you? Both times you two broke up. Weren't you the one who initiated it? And what about you? Do you have any proof that he ever did anything to betray this relationship?" Xiu's interrogation sent the crowd into an uproar. Everyone wore expressions of sheer disbelief. Xiu's counter-question left Ruin stunned for a long time. Xiu wasn't wrong. She really was the one who asked to break up first. But could she take all the blame? Ryan shook her head. Before she could speak, Linhua immediately fired back. "Don't you dare slander her. The things Iku did back then, do you think Rune didn't know? If he hadn't broken Ruin less than greater than S heart completely when she loved him so much, why would she ever break up with him? What's the point of spouting nonsense?" Xiu said coldly. "Who is the one twisting the truth here? I was always by Ruin less than greater than S side back then. No one knows the truth better than I do. Lingua less than greater than S eyes were practically shooting fire. I was by Iku less than greater than S side back then, too. And I can guarantee Iku never did a single thing to damage this relationship. He gave everything he had to cherish it, but in the end, all he got was a breakup." Shido didn't back down an inch because he remembered it very clearly. It was exactly because of that time that Yichu fell ill from sheer heartbreak and shortly after was diagnosed with a terminal illness. So towards this #1 diva standing before him, Xiu had absolutely no sympathy. "Haha." Ruyan let out a scornful laugh. "You were by his side then. Did he ever tell you the things he did back then? Does he even know why I wanted to break up? The events from 5 years ago, how much do you actually know?" Ruin less than greater than's heart was filled with grievance. Her thoughts unconsciously drifted back to that night 5 years ago. Rune slowly began to speak again. "That night 5 years ago was the first time in my life I ever drank alcohol. The buzz from the alcohol made my head spin and it finally pushed me to make that decision. After countless times of being ignored and treated coldly by you, and even catching him being ambiguous with another girl, I finally decided to end the relationship. Have you thought this through? Do you really want to break up with him? Her best friend back then, who was also her current manager, Lin Yu, asked seriously. Lu Ruin nodded and downed another glass of beer in one gulp. Tears fell uncontrollably. This is the second time Yichu and I are breaking up, and it will be the last. Maybe when we broke up the first time, we shouldn't have gotten back together. Back then, we had a fight and I asked for a breakup. My mom was afraid I wouldn't be able to get married, so she hurriedly set up a blind date for me. And it was that very time that a thorn was planted in my heart. I originally just planned to humor my mom and go through the motions to get it over with. But when my blind date slowly walked over, my heart shattered. My ex-boyfriend, whom I had just broken up with 3 days ago, holding a single red rose in his hand, slowly sat down in front of me. I saw how awkward he looked. His hands were so tense he didn't know where to put them. His first words to me were, "Since fate has brought us together like this, why don't we start over and get to know each other again? My name is Yichu." Just like that, we got back together. But even up until now, I still haven't dared to ask him why. Just 3 days after we broke up, he showed up at my blind date. Lu Ruyan took a large gulp of alcohol and said slowly, "My heart hurts so much. What a man who truly loves you. Go looking for someone new after just 3 days. I've lied to myself countless times, but this incident is like a thorn I just can't forget." After we got back together, he didn't care about me like he used to. There were times when it was incredibly late and he still hadn't come home. I'm afraid of the dark. But I still forced down my fear and went out to look for him. And then Ryuhan choked up, unable to continue. Her voice broke, and then I saw him sleeping alone in his car. Isn't it ridiculous? He'd rather sleep in his car than come home. He knew perfectly well I was waiting for him, yet he still didn't want to come back. Tell me, did he love me or was he just sick of me? Maybe the only reason he didn't leave me was because I was just a long-term meal ticket to him. Lu Ruyan was nothing but Yechu's meal ticket. By now, Ruyan's tears were streaming down her face, sobbing silently. She continued, "Actually, I knew for a long time that he didn't love me anymore. He stopped loving me a long time ago. Back then, he had already started talking to other girls. Once I accidentally saw this phone, there was a message from a girl asking him, 'When are you going to tell her?' Tell me. What was he planning to tell me? What else could it be?" When Yiku saw that message, I saw him smile. I hadn't seen him smile that happily in a long time. That was the kind of smile he only had back when he used to love me. And when he used to talk to me, I used to think he would belong to me forever. But the ridiculous thing is, I wasn't the only one. Finally, Lu Ruyan let out a bitter laugh, pretending to have seen through it all. She continued, "Love is between two people. You can't force it. If he didn't love me anymore, then it was time to break up." After Ryuan finished speaking, many people finally understood the whole story. Xiu let out a chuckle, smiling as he looked at Rune. What a pitiful act, how helpless. I happen to have a very similar story right here. I wonder if Miss Ryuan would be interested in hearing it. Lu Ruyan frowned. Are you still trying to make excuses for him? I experienced all of those things myself. Could they possibly be fake? Who can say for sure? Miss Ryuan, don't you want to let me speak? Just let him speak. Let's see what kind of nonsense he can come up with. I don't believe he'd have the nerve to say you framed him after all this. Linhua immediately grew impatient, her tone laced with indignation. She too took out the diary, flipped to the page from 5 years ago and read it word for word. The blind date from 5 years ago. This is the 3rd day I've been waiting. Here, Rune deleted all my contact info and I was completely out of my mind for 3 days. This is my last hope. Ryuan once said her mom was always forcing her to go on blind dates. This particular blind date, her mom had brought it up to her many times. Hard work pays off. I finally managed to wait for Lu Ryuan. In that moment, God knows how excited and nervous I was. The person I yearned for day and night was right in front of me. I wanted so badly to just rush over to her, but I was afraid of scaring her. Those complicated emotions made my whole body restless and uneasy. Fortunately, the outcome wasn't too bad. When I held that rose and walked trembling up to her, nervously saying, "Since fate has brought us together like this, let's start over and get to know each other again." Luckily, Ruin didn't object. She agreed to get back together, but Ruin didn't know just how much that incident affected me. I never opened my mouth to tell Ruin how panicked I was during the 3 days she was gone. Back then, Shido asked me, if you love her so much, why did you end up breaking up? I don't know, I really don't know. After we got back together, I felt like I needed to be a bit more mature, more responsible. At the time, we had just opened our music company, pouring all our savings into it. There were times when I even had to rely on Ruin just to eat, so I worked even harder. I wanted to give her a future. Back then, we often worked overtime until past 2 a.m. Maybe it was right around then that my body started having problems. I worked overtime too late, and Ruin was a very light sleeper, coming home too late. I was afraid of disturbing her. Many times I would drive to our building and just sleep in the car, then thinking of her adorable sleeping face. I would smile even in my dreams, but everything related to Ruin I remember very clearly. I was always preparing a surprise for her. All my friends knew I was a bit shy around women, but for her sake I asked a lot of my female friends for advice. I wanted to give her a wonderful surprise. Once a girl asked me, when are you going to tell her about the surprise? I looked at my phone and laughed. Laughed so happily, like a kid who had just fallen in love. My surprise was almost ready, I replied. I'll tell her once I manage to get those concert tickets. She loves singing so much. I thought she'd definitely be thrilled when she found out, because besides the concert, I was also planning to propose to her. I wanted to give her a future. For this proposal, for a very long time, I wanted to use the most romantic way to tell her that I love her. I just never expected that the day I proposed would be the exact same day she broke up with me. It was as if everything had been predestined by fate. Many people were absolutely shocked. Suddenly, they felt a pang of sympathy for the man in the diary. They couldn't truly feel what you felt at that moment, but they could imagine what kind of scene it was. Losing you at the very moment I wanted to love you the most. It's the most cruel and ultimate kind of bitterness. Chadu continued reading. I felt that I was mature enough back then that I could finally give her a better life. It was time for us to get married. That day, I held a huge bouquet of roses and walked up behind her, ready to give her the biggest surprise. Ironically, almost at the exact same time, I said, "Let's get married." She said, "Let's break up." The roses fell to the ground like a funeral. From then on, we went our separate ways. After Xiu finished reading, the entire venue fell silent once again. Lu Ryuan stood there completely dazed. She didn't know if she should believe all of this. Over the years, she had told herself countless times that Yi Chu had never loved her, that it was all just a game to him. Now, someone was telling her that wasn't the case. How could she possibly accept this? What if this was just a story he made up just to make himself look good? If he was really that great, Ruyan wouldn't have broken up with him, Lin Yu said, though her tone clearly lacked confidence. The details were almost identical. The sequence of events was almost identical. Who could possibly on the spot make up such a flawless story? Think about it. Everyone, the logic of this story is flawed to begin with. If it was just a misunderstanding on Ruyan's part, then why didn't Yiku explain himself? Are these things really that hard to explain? They aren't, right? So he wrote all these things into this so-called diary just to whitewash himself. Liu spoke with self-righteous indignation. Xiu bit his lip. In the end, he didn't say a word. He didn't know how to say it. Should he say that Yiku found out he had a terminal illness and that's why he didn't explain? Xiu shook his head. Right now, he still didn't want to tell everyone about the terminal illness. His silence only made Lin Yu attack him even more fiercely. Why aren't you talking? Can't explain it away anymore, huh? No matter what, you two can't hide the fact that he's a scumbag. Do you know how much suffering he put Ruyan through? How much pain he caused Guo? Did you know, back then Ruyan was heavily pregnant? Liu stopped talking. Hearing Liu bring these things up, Ruyan panicked and spoke up to stop her. No, I have to say it. Liu shouted, Ruyan, I know you. You're getting soft-hearted again, aren't you? Why do you always forget the pain you've been through? Don't let his tricks move you anymore. How did we live back then? Have you forgotten? Liu Ryuan opened her mouth to say something, but in the end, no sound came out. Lingu wasn't wrong. She had gone soft. Listening to every little detail in the diary, her heart had begun to waver. What she was nostalgic for from beginning to end was still Yu's boundless gentleness from back then. Seeing Ruin like this, Liu felt even more indignant. She absolutely couldn't let Ruin fall back into the arms of that scumbag. They had worked so hard to get everything they had now. Their good life had just begun. Liu would absolutely not allow anyone to ruin it all. Mr. Xiu, am I right? Lua asked coldly. If you can't answer, then let me ask you something else. Have you ever thought about how hard it is for an unmarried girl to be pregnant? In this society, no matter how big of a mistake this girl made, the child and her only problem, the father of the child hid and refused to show his face at a time like that. Is that the love you're talking about? She too stammered. A little, I don't know. Liu cut him off directly. Of course she wouldn't know. Let me tell you, when Ruan found out she was pregnant, the baby was already 3 months along. Her parents gave her 2 choices. Either get rid of the baby or leave the house and fend for herself. Ruan back then was just a young girl. How could she have had that much resolve? She said she didn't want to abort the baby. Several times she walked right up to the hospital gates, but it was as if she could hear a little life calling her mom. She cried and said she couldn't bear to do it. With no other choice in her helplessness, she could only leave. She went to find a rental place on her own, thinking that if she just worked hard by herself and raised the baby at the very least, they wouldn't starve to death. But that very scumbag you claim loved her wanted to destroy even that. Right when Ruan found a job, and a pretty decent one at that, those terrifying debt collectors showed up. They held it. Contracts in their hands. The guarantor listed was Ruan. They said you had disappeared, and with no one to pay the debt, they could only come after her. Those people had absolutely no conscience. They tracked down almost every job Ruan had, her family, and even her relatives' contact info. Ruan had no money, so they went after her parents, her friends, and her workplace. Just like that, her parents fell ill, her friends, her relatives. One by one, they all avoided Ruan like the plague. Ruan lost her job too, every single penny. Ruan was practically snatched away by those heartless thugs. Mr. Xiu, have you ever experienced what it's like for a pregnant girl? Is it only be able to sleep on a park bench at night? Have you ever felt the bitterness of a girl whose own father is sick, but she can only stand from afar and steal a glance? Have you ever felt the despair of a woman despised by everyone, standing on a 30-story rooftop, ready to end it all at any moment? No, you wouldn't understand because you don't deserve to. You're just a lackey, Ikulaki, who only knows how to take his side, spouting absolute nonsense. So please go back and ask the guy you're defending so much how exactly he plans to pay off these debts. Can he even afford it? Lin Yu's words grew increasingly harsh. It gradually revealed just how much hatred she harbored toward everything that happened back then. Her words also left everyone present stunned. That scumbag truly was despicable. She too ignored the mirror. His expression grew uglier by the second. He didn't care that Lin Yu was scolding him. What he cared about was the period of time Lin Yu was talking about. That's right, he had heard about that time before. He had heard me recount it. When I spoke of it, I almost shattered my teeth from grinding them. My nails dug deep into my flesh. My whole body trembled. I hated my own helplessness back then. Those loans were indeed taken out by me when I started my business, but I had already paid them all off. I never expected those people to keep it. Copy. At that time, I was critically ill. I was undergoing emergency treatment in the hospital. I made a will transferring all the assets under my name to Ruan. By then, I had amassed quite a substantial amount of money. It's just that this news somehow, for some unknown reason, reached the ears of those greedy bastards. The news they received was that I was already dead and that Ruan had inherited a massive fortune. Blinded by greed, they committed one outrageous act after another. In the end, I didn't die. Doctors managed to pull me back from death's door, but that breath of life upon learning what Ruan had gone through almost faded away once again. Of course, what followed was my retaliation. Those people who bullied Ruan back then were all sent to prison by me. They're still doing hard labor to this day. Yet Shu didn't know about any of this back then. You can't blame it all on him, Shu said weakly. He still didn't reveal my medical condition, just as Linu understood Rune. Shu understood me. My physical condition was my absolute bottom line. Without my permission, Shido didn't want to cross that line. Ridiculous. Is this your explanation? I think it's more like you can't make up any more lies, Linua said coldly, but let me tell you, it wasn't just these things. Ruan lost her job. She couldn't even afford the most basic prenatal checkups. She couldn't even keep up with basic nutrition. This led to her daughter being born with congenital anemia. She herself was left with severe lingering health issues. Do you know what those issues are? During that time, Ryan threw up all night long. Her whole body was swollen. She still had to take care of Guogo. Because of malnutrition, she couldn't produce milk for Guo to buy formula for Guo. That silly girl actually went to wash dishes at a restaurant, washing freezing cold bowls with freezing cold water. Do you know what that means? When I found her, I asked her why. Was she stupid? She said she wasn't because this was the only job that allowed her to work while carrying Guo on her back. Guo had just finished surgery. She couldn't be away from her mother. Guo had just been discharged from the hospital back then, and Ryuan didn't even get a single day of postpartum rest. Where was he then? Where was I? So no matter how great his hardships were, it's useless. Lin Yu shouted loudly, venting her indignation on Ryan's behalf. She believed that anyone who had truly walked through that period with Ryuan would never forget. That man, the damage was already done. There were no more excuses. She too let out a bitter laugh. Every time he heard Ryuan or Linu's tearful accounts, tears would well up in his own eyes. It wasn't that he wasn't strong. It was just too damn hard. Fate's cruel joke had forced both of them to endure endless suffering. It gave them both thousands of unspeakable hardships. It left them both covered in scars, but at least Ru Yan had Yu secretly protecting her. What about Yi Chu? What did he have left? Once his life began its countdown, every minute, every second was pure torment. All he had was despair. She too flipped open the diary. In a steady, measured voice, he slowly read, September 10th. This is the first day of our breakup. I didn't sleep all night. I don't know what I did wrong. I miss you like crazy. I don't know why. Yesterday I held roses and knelt before you, crying like a child. But from beginning to end, you never told me the reason for the breakup. Am I not good enough? Can I fix it? September 13th. I can't take it anymore. I absolutely hate that red exclamation mark. I tried everything to send you countless messages. I waited miserably for you on your way home from work, but you didn't reply and you didn't show up. September 15th. Ryan, I've made up my mind. I have to find you. It's been 5 days. I've realized one thing. My life without you is impossible. I absolutely have to find you, even if you hate me even more. I have to pursue you all over again. I've had enough of this living hell. September 30th. Ruyan, I'm sorry, I give up. No, I'm just giving up temporarily. There's something wrong with my body, but I believe I'll be fine very soon. I'll be going away for a while. You have to live well on your own. Reading up to here, Shito paused. Then he looked up at Rune. I don't know why, but ever since you broke up with him, you deleted every way to contact him. You moved out of the house that used to belong to both of you. It wasn't that he didn't want to explain, but did you ever give him a chance? Ruin closed her eyes. Tears streamed down her face. The version of her back then was perhaps young and impulsive. She always thought that deleting a person meant deleting the memories. She always thought that running away meant she could forget. She always thought that what she saw was the only truth. So she turned off her phone and pretended to be carefree, traveling alone, just like in those cliché old movies. After a breakup, I can still live perfectly fine on my own. But was she really perfectly fine? If she had been a little less stubborn back then, would the outcome have been different? Ruin shook her head vigorously, forcing herself to stop thinking about these things. What happened to his body? Shiu didn't answer. He had no way to answer. Back then, both Shidu and I felt that the problem wouldn't be that serious. As long as he received treatment, maybe he could still be saved. Who would have thought that the subsequent developments would completely exceed everyone's expectations? Shidu lowered his head. He continued reading the diary. October 30th. It's been a month. I'm back. Ryuan, I've returned to the city where we used to live together. From now on, I won't leave again, even though I might never have you again. Just being able to breathe the same air under the same sky as you, just being able to catch a glimpse of you from time to time is already the greatest happiness in my life. November 12th. I secretly went to see you. I snuck out of the hospital. Lately, I've been sleeping all the time, but I still feel so tired. Today, I finally felt a little more awake, so I couldn't wait to come see you. Thankfully, you didn't notice me. You still like going to the cafe we always went to. Seeing your lonely silhouette broke my heart. December 1st. You've lost weight. It really breaks my heart. December 20th. Today it hurts so much I can't even sit up. It really hurts. Just let me hold on until the new year. My New Year's wish. Find someone who loves you. Have lots of kids. The wedding I owe you. I'll definitely make it up to you in the next life. I'm sorry. No, this isn't real. Ryuan couldn't hold it in anymore. She screamed, cutting him off. Tell me what happened to him back then. What was wrong with him? What next life? What does hold on until the new year mean? What exactly happened to him? Where is he now? I don't want to hear any of this. Tell me right now. Ruyan was losing control. She screamed frantically, no matter how she listened. To it, the diary seemed to spell out the word death. Xiu looked at Ruyan's state. He felt a bit of heartache and a bit of regret. The one he felt heartache for was Yichu. He didn't know how Yu had managed to hold on during that period of time. The person he loved had broken up with him. His life had been given a death sentence. Just thinking about it was cruel, let alone Yu, who had actually lived through it. The one he felt regret for was also Yichu. If Yichu could see Ruyan losing control like this right now, he would probably feel very comforted. The woman he had given everything for at least still cared about him. Iku isn't dead. He's still alive right now, Shido said slowly. That was all he could say, so his illness is cured. If he's cured, why didn't he come find me? Besides, there was a time when I searched frantically for him too. Why didn't he answer me? Where exactly is he now? Ruyan asked anxiously. Right now, she desperately wanted to know everything about you. No matter how much she hated him, they had once loved each other. No matter how heartless he was still Gyu's father. She too shook his head. His condition is only temporarily stable. As for why he didn't show up, maybe it's just a cruel twist of fate. When he came looking for you, you weren't there. And when you went looking for him, he was probably receiving treatment. He had no way to answer you. It really is a massive joke, just like those countless TV dramas full of misunderstandings. As if it wouldn't be dramatic enough without them. As for why he didn't come looking for you, I should just keep reading the diary to you. Maybe you'll find your answer there. She too flipped the diary open again. January 15th, another month has passed. Ruyan, we've been apart, for 3 months and 5 days now. Today I want to tell you some good news. My surgery was a success, which means at the very least I can stay by your side a little longer. I'm so happy. I really want to see you again. Once I can get out of bed, I'll go find you. February 1st. Today is one of the most infuriating days of my life. Ruyan, I'm so sorry. I never expected you to suffer so much. Those despicable bastards. I did borrow money from them, but I paid it all off a long time ago. I can't believe they kept a duplicate copy and even use it to force you to give up. Ruyan, I swear I'll make them pay. February 22nd. Today is the first day of the Lunar New Year. Ruyan, I have some good news for you. Those scumbags who bullied you, they've all been sent to prison by me, daring to bully my woman. They brought this upon themselves. February 25th. Please forgive me for ultimately making this decision. Ruyan, I won't come looking for you anymore, but my love will always be with you. March 1st. I'm sorry. I don't know how many times I have to say it to make up for the guilt in my heart. If she too hadn't let it slip today, I still wouldn't have known you were pregnant. I'm truly worthless. Complete piece of trash. Ruyan, I really want to see what our child will look like when they grow up. March 22nd. Ruyan, let me tell you a secret. That job you successfully interviewed for today, I secretly found it for you. Haha, you'll never know for the rest of your life. Otherwise, you definitely punch me and tell me to mind my own business. My current body wouldn't be able to handle a punch from you. The boss of this place is a friend of mine. He'll take good care of you, of course. I also believe you'll do a great job. You can do it. I really wish I could let you punch me one more time. April 28th. I secretly want to see you again today. You've already stopped working. Our baby is about to be born. I'm suddenly so nervous. Is this what it feels like to be a father? I saw you smiling, so beautiful. May 1st. Today I went to your parents' apartment building. I thought about it for a long time, but in the end, I didn't have the courage to go up. I was afraid of causing trouble for you. I know how desperately you want their forgiveness. It's all because of a piece of trash like me, but I did do one thing in secret. I bought them that small mobility scooter they always felt was too expensive to buy. I saw your dad smile. I think he'll definitely forgive you. I really wish I had the chance to call him dad too. May 25th. Today is Gyu's birthday. The first day she came into this world. I'm at the hospital, but I won't let anyone see me. The moment Gyu let out her first cry, my heart felt like it was soaring. It's an indescribable feeling. I suddenly saw the continuation of my own life. From now on, there's one more woman I love most in this world. But don't worry, Ruyan, you will always be number one. May 27th. Why, damn this cruel heaven. You threw all this suffering onto me alone. Isn't that enough? Why do you have to torture my daughter too? The moment I heard Gyu had congenital anemia, my whole world collapsed. She's so little. She's so adorable. Why make her suffer so much? Why? June 1st, Ruyan. After writing today's entry, it might be a long time before I can write in this diary again, because today my blood will flow into Gyu less than Unk greater than S body. From now on, when you hold Gyu, will it feel even a little bit like you're holding me? Silence. Everyone fell into dead silence again. Ruyan was already sobbing uncontrollably. She couldn't stop no matter how hard she tried. Where on earth was he Chu? Why would he let Shu read these things? Is he doing okay right now? Ruyan desperately wanted to know how he was doing. Ruyan could now smile and tell him that she didn't hate him anymore. The diary mentioned March 22nd. She remembered that Gyu was about to be born back then. I hadn't even planned on looking for a job, but someone called me that day, inviting me for an interview. I thought it was because I had sent out so many resumes before and they kept mine on file, so I went just to give it a shot. Interview went surprisingly well. Even Ruyan herself had been shocked. A pregnant woman, a single mother about to give birth, an expectant mother who would soon need maternity leave. How could she possibly find a job? Only now did she realize it was him all along. She too was just about to say he's not doing well, but he suddenly gritted his teeth, swallowing the words back down. He's fine. Maybe for the rest of his life. He never wanted you to know what was in this diary, but I feel like there are some things you need to know. She too looked down and flipped the diary open again. September 11th. I can't believe 3 months have passed in the blink of an eye. I thought I wouldn't be able to hold on, but surprisingly I survived. It's all thanks to you, thanks to Gyu. Every time I wanted to give up, the image of you two would flash in my mind. I want to be with you both. I want to watch the sunrise and sunset with you. I want to be by Gyu's side and watch her grow up, even if it's just for one day. September 22nd. Trash. I really am a piece of trash. I saw you again today. I saw you carrying Gyu on your back while washing dishes. The edge of a broken bowl cut your hand. You bled so much. It must have hurt a lot, right? I wanted so badly to rush in and hold you, but I couldn't. And I didn't want you to see what I look like right now. I'm sorry, Ruyan. I failed to protect you. I swear this is the last time I'll ever let you get hurt. October 2nd. Ruyan, you smiled. When was the last time I saw that smile? I've already forgotten. Time is always such a headache. It can take away so many things. In the blink of an eye, we've been apart for over a year. We've both been through so much this past year. I'm no longer the man I used to be, and you don't like to smile anymore. But I think after today, you'll definitely smile a lot more because you finally found a job you love. Shenlo is an exceptionally brilliant music producer. Her music company, this is also incredibly outstanding. She promised me she would protect everything you have, everything. I feel so relieved. Time can change a lot of things, but the one thing that will never change is my heart that loves you. No, that's impossible. Hearing this, Ruyan suddenly shouted, cutting Z2 off. There's no way. Sister Chen couldn't possibly know Yichu. Those two have absolutely no connection whatsoever. This diary is a fake. It has to be fake. Ruyan screamed. She refused to believe this was real. Music was her last shred of dignity, when her life was a complete mess, shattered beyond repair. It was music that gave her the courage to keep living. She had always believed that music had given her a second chance at life. So she didn't want to believe that all of this was arranged by him too. She too chuckled. Lu Ruyan, you don't actually naively believe those stories about walking down the street and getting discovered by a talent scout actually real, do you? You've been in the entertainment industry for so many years. It's one thing for outsiders to believe that kind of stuff, but do you still believe it? Ruyan froze. Stop talking. Stop spouting nonsense. She's relentless pressing made Lin Yu instantly anxious. She yelled at the top of her lungs. What kind of person is Yichu? It's not like I haven't met him. There's no way he could know someone like Sister Chen. Besides, I think you're just a con artist. Who knows where you picked up this diary and then you just added your own fabricated details, right? Or maybe you and you are in this together. What exactly is your goal here? Is it because Ruyan dumped him back then, so now you're here for revenge? You want to ruin Ruyan, don't you? She too sneered. He felt that the Liu in front of him was completely out of control, absolutely hysterical. So there was no need to argue with someone like her. She too looked back at Ruyan, his eyes still cold as he asked, do you also think that Ichu is trying to harm you? Ruyan less than Unk greater than S whole body trembled as she shook her head violently. Then she said to Liu, Lin Yu, don't talk nonsense, I believe Mr. She isn't that kind of person. No, they're clearly up to no good today. Even if Yichu really did all these things, why would he say it in front of so many people? He clearly knows that this will definitely spread to every corner of Great Xia. They just want to ruin us. Lin Yu grew even more hysterical. She was extremely dissatisfied with everything that had happened today. Lin Yu stopped talking. Lu Ruyan was also getting a bit angry. What does it matter anyway? We were planning to go public today regardless. I've hidden it for 5 years. I don't want to hide it anymore. As for my fans, I love them and I believe they will forgive and understand me. Ruyan reined in her emotions and looked at Shitu. Mr. Shay, please forgive my friend for being a bit agitated just now. I, Lu Ruyan, am just an ordinary person, but I know the difference between gratitude and resentment. I am grateful for everything he has done for me. If you still refuse to tell me where he is or if he still doesn't want to see me, then please pass a message to him. I don't hate him anymore. From now on, all grievances between us are wiped clean. Of course, if he wants to seek you, I will grant him his rights as a father, but that's where it ends. Shitu shook his head, letting out a bitter laugh. I won't be passing on any of that, but do you really not love Yiku anymore? Shitu still couldn't accept it and had to ask, does that even matter anymore? Ruyan said softly. If you still love me, then why hasn't he shown up once in the past 4 years? I believe you, Mr. Shi. And I believe EQ, it's true that his health had some issues over the past 4 years, but it's been 4 years. I've been debuted for 4 years now. No matter how bad his health was, he should have recovered by now. My schedule is completely public, yet he hasn't shown up even once. Maybe he fell in love with someone else a long time ago. That's not true, Shitu said loudly. Immediately after, he realized he was getting a bit too worked up. That's not true. Iku has been watching over you all these years and he's always been helping you. Ru Yin chuckled softly. Are you trying to say, Mr. Zai, that my achievements over the past 4 years were also arranged by Yichu? That he arranged for me to become the #1 pop diva in Great Xia? That he made the fans love me? Mr. Shay, do you really think that's possible? I believe he did all those things in the beginning, but after that I relied on my own hard work. Everything you have is connected to him. Do you believe that? Shitu's words made Ruyan burst into laughter. She laughed and said, Mr. Shi, that's impossible. Are you trying to tell me that the reason I'm so famous right now, the reason I could become the #1 pop diva in Great Xia is all because of Yichu? Do you think that's even possible? He might have helped me enter the industry. He might even know Sister Chen, but could he make hundreds of millions of fans fall in love with me? Could he sing every song for me? She too chuckled softly. Never underestimate what a peerless genius is capable of. Just because ordinary people can't do it doesn't mean he can't. Want to know what Yichu did? Don't you have Sister Chen's phone number? You can just ask her. The greatest benefactor in Ru Yin, less than greater than S entertainment career. Probably wouldn't lie to you, right? I'll call her. You think I'm scared, Lin? You couldn't handle the provocation either. She grabbed her phone and found Chenlu less than greater than S number, but just as she was about to hit call, she suddenly hesitated. She turned to look at Ru Yan, unsure if she should go through with it. Ru Yan gritted her teeth and nodded. She wanted to know the whole truth too. Linu pressed the call button. Linua made the call. The call connected. Hello, Lin Yu, what's wrong? Where is Ru Yan? Did everything go smoothly today? Lin Yu less than greater than S tone became much more respectful. Sister Chen, sorry to bother you so late. There's a slight issue on Ru Yan less than greater than S end. We have a few things we need to confirm with you. What is it? Is it serious? Chenlu less than greater than S voice instantly grew anxious. It's nothing major. I just wanted to ask, and do you know Hiu? Linua asked directly. The other end of the line suddenly went dead silent. After a long while, a voice finally sounded. Yu, is he? Did he show up? Did you guys see him? The crowd was in an uproar. She knows him. She actually knows him. She too wasn't lying. No, mister, he didn't show up, but a man named Shi too did. He said that Ru Yan owes everything she has now to Mr. Yi. Ru Yan wants to know if all of this is true. Although Linu's tone was tactful, her question was very direct. Haha, a chuckle came from the other end of the line. Is President Zai there too? Can I have a few words with him? Sure. Liu nodded, looking a bit grim. She handed the phone over to Zai too. Chenlo actually called Zai too. President Zai, it seemed this President Zai standing before them was also a very formidable figure. Could everything he just said actually be true? But how did Yichu pull it off? Linu racked her brain but couldn't figure it out. President Tsai, is all of this Mr. Ye less than unk greater than this idea? Chenlo asked directly from the other end of the line. Even though Lin Yu hadn't explained much, Chenlo had already guessed most of what had happened tonight. No, it was my idea, Xiu said calmly. I felt it was time to make everything public. Xiu less than unk greater than S words made the other end of the line fall silent once again. Chenlu never expected that Xiu had decided all of this on his own. I will take full responsibility for everything. President Chen, you just need to tell them what you know, that's all. Seeing that Chenlu wasn't saying anything, she too added another sentence. Sigh. Only then did a sigh come from the other end of the line. Is Mr. Yui doing okay right now? Chenlu asked. She had somewhat guessed why she too was in such a rush. There was probably only one reason, and that was Ichu might not be doing well anymore. Yichu is fine right now. Chenlu, why did you sign Ru Yan back then? Was it because you valued her talent? She too didn't want to beat around the bush with her. You less than unk greater than S situation couldn't afford any delays either, but directly asked the thing everyone cared about the most. I promised Mr. Yi about this, I can't say it. Shenlu still didn't want to speak. I already told you I'll take full responsibility for everything. Shidu was getting a little impatient. Shenlu, this isn't fair to you. Do you want him to carry this regret for the rest of his life? You helped you out a lot too, didn't he? Chenlu fell silent for a moment, then she sighed. Fine, I'll tell you. Rune, I'll tell you. Ryuan, earlier you asked me if what Shido said was true. Well, I'm telling you right now, it's not just the things Mr. Yi brought you. It's not just everything you have. Right now, it even includes your very life. The fact that you can still live so well in this world. All thanks to Mr. Sag. Yi, what is CEO Chen joking? Several people couldn't help but exclaim in shock. They found it completely unbelievable. If the person saying this wasn't the renowned Chenlu of the entertainment industry, they would have spoken up to refute it long ago. Ryuan looked as if she'd been struck by lightning. She stood there numbly, frozen in place. Sister Chen, isn't that bit of an exaggeration? After a long time, Ryuan finally spoke slowly. An exaggeration? Chenlu let out a laugh. No, it's not an exaggeration at all. Back then, the first time Mr. Yi introduced you to me, you know what my reaction was. At that time, Mr. Yi and I had known each other for quite a while, but we didn't keep in touch much. It's just that from the very first time we met, I was completely won over by Mr. Yi's brilliance. Then one day, Mr. Yi suddenly came looking for me. He said he wanted to introduce an artist to me. Of course, I was thrilled. I trusted Mr. Yi's eye for talent. I thought I was going to find a hidden gem, but I was disappointed. Ryuan, do you know what happened the first time I saw your profile? What my reaction was? I slammed my hand on the table immediately. I am a music producer with principles. I don't need just a pretty face. What I create is music with real substance. And at that time, in my eyes, you were just a worthless, empty vase. Almost entirely, aside from your looks, I didn't see a single shred of what you could call talent. In my eyes, you had absolutely no business being in the entertainment industry. Many people exchanged glances. The most famous female star today was actually judged as having no business being in the entertainment industry. How incredibly ironic. Chenlu less than unk greater than S voice continued to ring out. At that time, I didn't give Mr. Yi any face, I just slammed the table. I felt he was insulting music and insulting me as far as I was concerned. Managing someone like Ryuan was practically degrading my profession. Ruin's expression turned a bit ugly at this moment. So the talent she had always been so self-righteous about was actually that worthless in the eyes of others. All those days of feeling so smug were for nothing. She had felt that her past 20+ years were just like a jewel covered in dust. Luckily discovered by Sister Chen, it turned out the ridiculous one was herself. Ryuan, don't be too sad. Later on you really did prove yourself, and my affection for you is genuine too. But that's exactly what I thought back then. Chenlu explained briefly. After I slammed the table, brother, you didn't even get mad. Instead, he took out two things. The first was a share transfer agreement for Shanghai Music. That's right, the current Changi Music. He said, as long as I agree to guide Ryuan, Shanghai would be mine. Even though Shanghai wasn't super famous in the industry back then, it was still a company with a market value of tens of millions of yuan. Brother Ye was as generous as ever, but I refused. Haha, you guys didn't expect that, did you? Tens of millions of yuan were placed right in front of me, but I didn't waver at all because I've always felt that money is an insult to music. I was even more furious. The contract Yichu offered was a blatant disrespect to my profession. I make music for my dreams. That is my original intention. So I sneered, took that contract, and right in front of you, tore it to pieces, but it was as if Brother Ye had anticipated I would tear it up halfway. He directly pulled out another contract and placed it in front of me along with a song. A pretty damn good song, but how could I let these things make me abandon my principles, just as I was about to, for the second time, tear all of it to shreds? Brother Yi stopped me. The look in his eyes as he stared at me was full of pleading. You all have to understand, Brother Yi in my eyes back then was a legendary figure. I never thought someone like him could have that kind of look in his eyes. Brother Yi said, President Chen, I've never owed anyone much in this life except for her. I won't be able to pay her back in a lifetime. Please sign her. I'll handle everything else behind the scenes. I'm begging you. The high and mighty Brother Yi in my eyes actually used the word begging. I couldn't understand it at all. In my opinion, no one was worth Yi doing that. So you agreed, right? So the reason you came to me back then was just out of respect. For Yichu, right? Ruyan asked. The other end of the line was silent for a moment, then a slow sigh came through. Yes, I couldn't bear that look in his eyes, I agreed. Hearing this, Ruyan almost collapsed. Her whole body trembled. She was moved by Yichu's sacrifices, but what she couldn't bear even more was, it turned out that the very thing she had always been so proud of was only achieved because Yichu had humbled himself to beg for it. It turned out she was just a mediocre nobody. Someone Chenlu didn't even care to look at. On the other end of the line, Chenlu spoke again. Her words served as a direct conclusion to this whole matter. You could say that if it weren't for you in this world today, there would be no Lu Ruan. Hearing this, everyone was a bit shocked. Without Yichu, there would be no Lu Ruyan today. They still felt it was a huge exaggeration. Yichu just gave Ruyan an opportunity, didn't he? But the one who seized the opportunity was Ruyan herself. If Ruyan didn't have the ability, rising to the top of the entertainment industry in just 4 years couldn't be done with just resources alone. It also required unparalleled talent. Lu Ruyan just quietly listened to these discussions without expressing any opinion. For the past 4 years, she was the one waking up early and staying up late, working tirelessly. She was the one practicing her singing in the dead of night. During that time, she barely cared about anything else in the outside world to master those difficult musical instruments. Her fingers were cut and bloody by the strings. She spent 4 years learning what would take others over a decade. If this wasn't talent, what was? She had always been praised by the public as a musical genius, a once-in-a-century prodigy. She was incredibly confident in her own talent. Hearing everyone mention talent over the phone, Chenlu suddenly let out a cold laugh. Talent? Isn't that ridiculous? Maybe she really had a little bit. Her voice wasn't bad, sure, but in all of Daxia. At any random art academy, there are countless people with vocal conditions just like hers. For a veteran working in the music industry, those conditions are honestly way too ordinary. I was very disappointed, but I couldn't bear to reject Brother Ye's plea. So I decided to meet you in person once before making a decision. There was another reason. It was because I was genuinely quite curious about you. I wanted to know what kind of person could make Brother Yi so unforgettable. Just what kind of figure you were. Brother Yi said his greatest wish in life was to be with you. To have a house not too big, not too small, to have a car not too fancy, not too shabby, then go to work and get off work together. Watch the sunrise and sunset, spending every minute, every season together. If there was a little life added to the mix, even better. But now he couldn't do that anymore. Brother Yi said he once promised the person he loved the most that he would let her do what she loved the most and become the brightest star. Hearing this, Ruin less than greater than S eyes couldn't help but turn red again. The #1 diva of Daxia. It was just a joke they made when teasing each other. She never expected you to always remember it. Chenlu continued, back then I was particularly interested in you, so I specifically sought you out and asked you to sing a song as an audition. The result, I was extremely disappointed. Your conditions were honestly exceptionally poor. After listening to your performance, I went back to the company and immediately called Brother Ye. I told him I couldn't take this job. I didn't want to waste my energy on someone so unremarkable like that, but Brother Ye didn't say anything else. He just told me to sign you, then take you to record. The track we recorded was the song Brother Ye gave me back then. Not only that, Brother Ye even bought the biggest music promotion spot on the global music platform to put your debut song up there. That's right. Do you guys know how much money Brother Ye lost on that song? A conservative estimate would be over 8 figures, tens of millions of yuan. Moreover, that song directly impacted the reputation of Brother Ye's music company at the time, including the evaporated market value. The total loss was absolutely over 100 million yuan. Impossible, that's absolutely impossible. Ruyan finally couldn't hold back and screamed. As a legend in the Daxia music industry, in just 4 years she had claimed the honor of being Daxia's #1 diva. Liu Yan had always felt that this had a lot to do with her own talent, even if her early works were immature and her performances had many flaws. It absolutely couldn't have been that bad, absolutely impossible, without waiting for anyone to retort. Chenlu continued, that's not even the end of it. That incident caused the shareholders of Shanghai Music to completely lose faith in Brother Ye. During the shareholder meeting, they almost voted to dismiss Brother Ye from his position as chairman. Brother Ye paid out of his own pocket to dilute the shares just to quell that storm. Chenlu less than unk greater than S voice didn't stop. About 10 days later, he sent me an email. Inside was a dense 100,000 word document filled with feedback and advice for Ruyan. Strengths, weaknesses, which areas could be fixed through practice. Which areas were her fatal flaws that needed to be avoided. He covered it all and told me to pass it on to you. Hearing this, Ryan's heart fiercely ached again. That feedback document left an incredibly deep impression on her. It almost made her reevaluate herself entirely. It was also the first time she felt that, yeah, music is a technique. You could say that that single document of feedback saved her at least 10 years of detours. She just never expected that. The feedback document was actually written by Yi Chu. All these years, she had been thanking the wrong person. For the second song after that, Brother Yi still compiled all the feedback and had me pass it on. The Nurture Ruin. Brother Yi lost hundreds of millions of yuan from start to finish. This almost shook the very foundation of Shanghai. Brother Yi used Shanghai's reputation and audience to build Ruin up. That's why I said if it weren't for Brother Yi, there would be no Lu Ruyin today. Lu Ruyin, your so-called talent, was nothing more than Brother Ye using hundreds of millions of yuan and countless amounts of blood, sweat, and tears to pave the way. Everything you have is the result of Brother-wise painstaking effort, word by word, line by line. Furthermore, that feedback document also became our guiding direction for nurturing Ruyan. Later on, every one of Ruyan's songs played to her strengths and avoided her weaknesses. We always chose the melodies that suited her best. That's why this world praises her talent endlessly, but they don't know that it was all artificially arranged. It's just that someone completely concealed her flaws, Chenlu finally said after she finished speaking. The entire scene fell into silence, a dead silence. No one said a word and no one knew what else could even be said. Could love really be so great that you only want the best for someone without asking for anything in return? If it was really, as Chenlu said, then the resources you poured in could absolutely nurture an ordinary person to the very top. Therefore, Ruyan's success really didn't have much to do with her talent. The so-called genius was nothing more than a package persona. After learning the truth, everyone lowered their heads. It felt like being slapped in the face by reality. Can talent bought with money still be considered talent? The most shocked person, of course, was still Ruyan. Her eyes were a bit glazed over now. It turned out the talent she had always been so proud of was actually this ridiculous. It turned out the man she had always hated had always been helping her. It turned out that all these years her life seemed to be without you, but Yichu less than unk greater than S shadow was everywhere. It turned out he had always loved her deeply. But why even now had Yichu still not shown up? Why, after so many years, couldn't he just show his face once? Ruyan less than unk greater than S tears fell. This time, it wasn't out of grievance, but because she was truly moved by Yi's sacrifices. Many people at the scene were also quietly sobbing, not knowing if it was because they remembered the person who once made them risk it all or because they had also made such sacrifices themselves in such a silent atmosphere. A slow melody began to play. Many people immediately recognized it. This was another one of Ruyan's songs, a sad love song. When the title of this song surfaced in their minds, many people suddenly had the answer. They seemed to understand why Iku would make such crazy sacrifices. It was all just because I love you too much. The lyrics of Just Because I Love You Too Much slowly echoed along with Ruyan's singing voice. A gentle low voice as if telling the story of the two of them, yet also like constantly comforting oneself, telling oneself to stop loving. Was this Yichu less than unk greater than S inner voice? Many people suddenly have this thought. So in every quiet dead of night, did you also miss her until his heart ached? Did he also miss someone until it tore him apart, so he also hoped he could be freed? Hoped the alcohol could numb his nerves so he could temporarily forget Rune? Ruyen burst into tears. She simply couldn't stop. This song was about him, but wasn't it also about her, wasn't she? Exactly the same. Countless times in the dead of night, looking up at the sky alone, not daring to close her eyes, not daring to sleep, terrified that Yichu would suddenly appear in her dreams. If the dream was too beautiful, she would wake up to a soaked pillow. The next day, she would still have to bear it all alone. Ruyen remembered one time they had a fight. They had just gotten back together. Ruyen asked Iku, if there's a next life, what do you want to be other than being human? Anything is fine. A ring, glasses, a bed. Ruyen asked him, what's the point of being those things in the next life? I can just buy you. Being by your side forever is meaningful enough. This was a story sadder than sadness itself, but right now, Ruyen desperately wanted to ask him out loud. If you love me, why did you only protect me in secret? Why didn't you show up, do you know? As long as you're by my side, then forever is meaningful. The singing continued. Was this Yichu using hundreds of millions of yuan to prop Ruyen up, so this was the reason he only gave without asking for anything in return? Some things aren't because I don't love you. On the contrary, it's just because I love you too deeply. Everyone burst into tears. It was hard for anyone to remain indifferent to this scene. Perhaps everyone had experienced something like this. At this moment, Ruyen was crouching on the ground, crying so hard she couldn't even stand up. Regret. How could she not feel regret? She had never even seen Yichu get down on one knee to propose to her. She had never seen how Yu, for her and Gua, worked so hard to support their family. She had never seen how Yakyu would still love her as they grew old. How could she not feel regret? Where is he? Where is Yichu? Ruyen didn't even know how many times today she had asked this question. She still didn't understand. Why did Yiku still refuse to show himself? According to what she said, his body should have recovered a bit by now. He shouldn't be so weak that even meeting once was difficult. But why didn't he show up? If he did show up, would you still be with him? Chenlu didn't answer her question, but suddenly asked her one in return. Hearing this, Ruyen felt as if she had been struck by lightning. She stood frozen in place. That's right. If he came back, could she still be like before, loving him with all her heart? Could they still go back to the past? Those days of agonizing pain, she had barely managed to survive them. It had been 5 years. Ruyen had tried everything in secret just to forget him. How many nights had Ruyen held a glass of wine, toasting to the past, telling herself that even if she still loved him, she would never look back. She only hoped to gather enough disappointment so she could start over. She had finally worn away all her faith. She had gathered all the disappointment she needed. Her heart had already turned to cold ashes. She wouldn't love again, but then Yu reappeared, telling her that for the past 5 years he had always been silently watching over her. What did that even mean? What gave him the right? Did he think that by clinging to this self-righteous sentimentality and wallowing in it, the pain he caused would magically disappear? Did all her suffering over the years mean nothing? A single mother raising a child while trying to build a career. Who had ever helped her? Even if she was moved now, could those hardships just be forgiven? Before Ruyen could answer, Lin Yu spoke. Up first, no, absolutely not, Liu shouted. Even if you did help Ruyen, that's nowhere near enough to make up for the trauma he put her through. Not even close. Because of Yiku, for the past 4 years, Ruyen has been living in absolute hell. She was completely penniless back then, carrying a newborn baby that needed constant care. During that time, Ruyen lost over 20 pounds. She was already frail, and after losing all that weight, she looked pitifully fragile. There were times she literally passed out at work because of Yu. Ruyen and her parents practically cut ties. Uncle Lu has always been a proud man who cares about his reputation more than anything. Yet his own daughter got pregnant out of wedlock and even insisted on keeping the baby. Do you know what people in their hometown call that? It brought terrible gossip, making it impossible for Ruyen to even hold her head up around her own family. It also made the neighbors she grew up with point fingers and gossip behind her back. She endured all of this for 5 whole years, 5 full years. Even a grown man might not have been able to survive what she went through, let alone a woman. While you're also moved by what Iku did anyone ever stop to think if Ruyen had it easy? Hasn't Ruyen suffered enough these past 5 years? Every word from Lin Yu pierced like a dagger to the heart, leaving everyone in stunned silence. Lin Yu less than Unk greater than S words also left Ruyen less than Unk greater than S emotions in a tangled mess. Scenes from the past played like a movie reel, flashing vividly in her mind. Ruyan shook her head, trying to steady her nerves before slowly speaking up. Sister Chen, I can't do this anymore. In this lifetime, I don't want to love anyone ever again, but Sister Chen, no matter what, I still want to thank you for mentoring me these past 4 years. I don't know how Yiku did it, but everything you've done for me, I've truly seen and appreciated it all. Thank you, Sister Chen, I'm begging you. Please tell me, where is Yiku right now?